Well, good morning, everyone. This is MightyStream, and I'm excited to be with you today. Today is April the 12th, and I'm looking forward to doing the Just for Today with you. I want to just greet you this morning, and let's go ahead and say the Serenity Prayer. We haven't said that together in a while. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer. A moment of silence now. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So today is Tuesday. I'm hoping that you had a beautiful Monday. Everything went well with me yesterday. And so we're just looking for the test results. And I have no doubt that those will be excellent as well. Let's go ahead and get into the reading. Today's reading for April 12th, the big picture. All spiritual awakenings have some things in common. Common elements include an end to loneliness and a sense of direction in our lives. Basic text, page 50. And I'm assuming this is talking about the 12th step, our spiritual awakening, right? Some kinds of spiritual experiences take place when we confront something larger than we are. We suspect that forces beyond our understanding are operating. We see a fleeting glimpse of the big picture and find humility in that moment. Our journey through the 12 steps will bring about a spiritual experience of the same nature, only more profound and lasting. We undergo a continual process of ego deflating, while at the same time we become more conscious of the larger perspective. Our view of the world expands to the point where we no longer possess an exaggerated sense of our importance. Through our new awareness, we no longer feel isolated from the rest of the human race. We may not understand why the world is the way that it is, or why people sometimes treat one another so savagely. But we do understand suffering, and in recovery, we can do our best to alleviate it. When our individual contribution is combined with others, we become an essential part of a grand design. We are connected at last. Just for today, I am but one person in the entire scheme of things. I humbly accept my place in the big picture. I like that. I like that this is very settling. This is a very calming reading. This is a very fulfilling reading. This particular reading today is talking about the types of spiritual experiences or awakenings an individual can have. The first paragraph here is highlighting the fact that we all have at some point in time had this awareness that we were dealing with something that was larger than we are, right? We were dealing with something that clearly was having more spiritual impact, a wider sphere of influence than what we could see. But we knew that it was larger. We knew that our actions in that moment would impact the larger scheme of things. So it settles it, it kind of introduces it in the sense that, hey, we know that everyone has had this spiritual experience at some point in time, right? If you're a human being, you've experienced the fact that you've encountered something, and in that encounterance, you were like, this is bigger than me. This is way larger than me. And in that moment, there's a level of humbling or humility that comes with that. And we're able to go about it in a sense that while we're contributory to the situation, all that is at stake is not completely dependent upon us. There's so much more to it than what we do. But what we do has an impact on the larger picture. For instance, I'd like to give you an example that is quite simple. We know that there are a lot of products that we can go buy from the store, from any department store, that are not biodegradable, right? They do not disintegrate in the ground or at any time. They literally have to be melted down and forced into a new substance or a new mass, right? In order for them to be gotten rid of. And there's some things that you can go to the store and buy that have the recyclable symbol on them, the arrows going in a circle. And you know that those things can go in your recyclable bin and they will be further used down the road many years later for something else. Okay, so here's the point. Do you remember the cigarettes that had filters in them? People could buy them, they had filters, but they were not biodegradable. And the issue is that oftentimes people would smoke these cigarettes and throw them on the ground, not realizing that that filter is going to stay right where you threw it unless someone picks it up and throws it away. But even in the throwing away of it, something else has to happen for it to be gotten rid of, right? So that's a simple example of how something small has an effect on the greater whole. How buying things that have the recyclable label on them are far more beneficial to the whole planet, right? Because this healthy environment or having a clean environment is greater than all of us, right? But each person does have influence. Okay, so that's just on the small scale, right? That's in the first paragraph. But then it talks about here in the second paragraph that as we journey through the 12 steps, we bring about we have a spiritual experience that is of the same nature, but it's more profound and it's more lasting because we realize now that spiritually speaking, I am responsible for my actions, right? It's just the journey through the 12 steps. So I'm not getting to the second paragraph just waking up, right? I'm not getting to, when I say just waking up, I'm talking about just, acknowledging that I have a problem with an issue in my life and that my life had become unmanageable. No, I am getting to this second paragraph through the journey of the 12 steps, the spiritual principles that come thereof, right? So I am acknowledging there's an issue. I can believe that I can be restored to sanity. I'm turning my will and my life over to a power greater than myself, right? I'm writing down my liabilities and my assets. I'm sharing those with God and one other person, right? I'm seeing that I have character defects that I'm entirely ready to have them removed, right? And then I go on into the seventh and I ask God to remove these shortcomings from me. These character defects that I have are causing me to fall short in a sense. They're causing me to act in a way is problematic. And those are called shortcomings in the seventh step. And I'm asking God to remove them. I'm humbly asking, I'm not demanding, I'm humbly asking him to remove them from me. And in that spirit of knowing that there's something greater than me that I'm doing that's impacting the greater whole in a spiritual sense, right? I am making a list of all of the people that I need to make an amend to, right? All of the people that I have had some sort of relationship to, but I left them hanging. I dropped the ball in some kind of way, or I acted in a certain way, or I didn't act in a way that was fruitful for the relationship. I'm writing and I'm putting myself at the top of the list, right? I'm number one. I'm at the top slot on that 8th step. And then I go into the 9th step and I'm going to make direct amends to them, except for when to do so causes harm to others or myself, right? So I'm going to make amends to them, but say maybe, you know, I cheated on my husband, or I cheated on my girlfriend, or I did something that has such magnitude and weight that if I try to make an amends for that, and I'm specific about that with them, the baby has to go out with the water, right? Because there's so much damage in that moment of admitting that I've done something wrong. But how can you make an amends in that situation and not cause further harm to them, others, or myself, right? How can you do that in the 9th step? Well, making amends is greater than just saying I'm sorry. It's changing the behavior, and that behavior becomes the patch. That behavior becomes the bridge over troubled water. So now when I'm at this second paragraph right here, I'm talking about I've done some work. And the promises is that it will bring, after this work that I'm doing, right? I stopped at step 9, but after doing the work, the promises that there will be a spiritual experience of the same nature, but what is it going to be? More profound and lasting. So I'm doing step 9 to the best of my ability. I'm going over with my sponsor. My sponsor is going to let me know if these are real amends that I can make directly, or if I'm going to have to make them indirectly. Right? And then when I move into step 10, I'm talking about now I have the power to encounter the same type of circumstances, but make a different decision. But in the step 10, right, it says that we promptly admit our wrong, right? We promptly admit when we're wrong, right? And so we're doing this daily inventory, and at the end of the day, we're doing our step 10 inventory, and we're like, man, something about that interaction with that lady, I talked to her wrong, right? I was very arrogant the way that I spoke to her. I need to go back to that store and let that lady know, I'm sorry how I came across. I know I probably didn't help make your day beautiful. And I just want to let you know that I went home and I thought about that. And I just want to come back here and take a brief minute to let you know that I'm conscious that I treated you inappropriately. And I am sorry, ma'am. I am sorry for my behavior, right? That's just one thing that you can do, right? You do your step 10 inventory, and then as you go through that in the evening, you're like, man, I could have did that different. Then the next day, you let them know, I'm aware that I messed that up, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm really going to work on my attitude, especially when it comes to people giving service. I think it should be excellent. But that's not my job to make you do a better job. I want to let you know that I'm sorry I talked to you that way, right? And that's just one example, people. I'm just trying to let you know that we don't get to have the spiritual experience that has a more profound and lasting outcome without doing some work. So when you're at step 10, now we're rolling into, this is a pattern. Every night I'm going to be reviewing my day. And the beauty of that, the beauty of the here and now is that you don't have to wallow in your past. And I have to stay on this screen. Usually I like to pop back to the other screen, but I want to just sit here with you. I just want to sit right here with you on this page so that you understand that our just for today meditations are giving you spiritual feeding. They're giving you spiritual food that can last you, if you're willing to present yourself to do the work, right? And so in that step 10, I'm moving into step 11 now, because now I have a tool in my tool pouch that allows me to look at everything I do every day. I'm no longer at that point where I'm at step 4 and I'm making a long record of my liabilities and my assets in regards to relationships, how I respond to things, how the disease of addiction, the diseasiness of being obsessive and compulsive. Let me break that down for you, right? The disease of addiction is a dis-ease, a spiritual dilemma. It's a dis-ease that has symptoms that are obsessive and compulsive. It has symptoms, just like a cold has symptoms. How do you know you have a cold? I'm sneezing, my nose is running, I'm coughing, I have a sore throat. So how do you know you have the disease of addiction? Or you have this component called obsession and compulsion. The constant thought and then the acting on it regardless to the consequences, right? And so now I'm no longer have to wallow in that. I don't have the past to clean up anymore because I've done it, right? But I'm living from day to day. I'm living just for today. I'm living in the here and now. And when you're doing your 10th step, that is a point where you are living in your here and now, and you're correcting your mess as you make them. It's very powerful. And I recommend for everyone that's listening that is not even in the program, I recommend that you get this step working guide. You can order it directly from na.org. Go to their, I want to call it their inventory, but once you get to their website, you will know exactly where to go. Just read up at the top, click on that link so that you can place an online order, or you can even order it off of Amazon, right? And you don't have to get a brand new copy, but I suggest that you do. But there's older copies people are getting rid of, and you can just order it and have it in your book collection and commit to going through. It helps you journal every day. It helps you get better. And so when you're at your step 10, this is that you're doing this every day. Just for today, you're doing this every day. Every night, you're looking at your day. Let me take a sip of this horrible black coffee. So I always start my day out with 1 cup of black coffee using instant Nescafe and lemon. And it just tastes so horrible, but it causes your body to pick up its metabolism. And so I always start the day out with this awful cup, and then I move on to my, flavored coffees and stuff like that. So here I have you at step 10. And now when I'm going into step 11, it said that through step 11, through prayer and meditation, we maintain a conscious contact with the God of our understanding, right? So in step 11 is we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. So now I'm kind of back at step 2, but on a deeper level, right? Step 2 and step 11, rather, because step 2 is talking about we came to believe we could be restored to sanity. Step 3 is talking about turning your will and your life over to the care of God as you understood him, right? So here in step 11, it says through prayer and meditation, we sought to improve our conscious contact with the God of our understanding, praying only for a knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. So now at step 11, you are having a daily routine, maybe not even just daily, like intermittently throughout the day, right? I stay in a spirit of prayer. I stay in a spirit of prayer throughout the course of my day so that I am listening for the will of God. And I'm asking God to give me the power and the strength to carry his will out. Right? Regards to your higher power, if your higher power is not able to give you the life force energy to do the things that your higher power created you to do, then there's a problem in the connection. But through prayer and meditation, you're going to go about your day and be able to do this. Do you see how beautiful this process is? Because now you get to wake up every day realizing that there's a source. You are plugged into the proper source that is going to give you revelation about what you should or should not be doing, but also give you the strength, the life energy, the grace to be able to go about what you're doing. It's a very powerful, beautiful process to get to this point. Then when you're at your 12th step, it said, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to the addict that still suffers and apply these principles in all our affairs. So now, after doing the 11th step in working on having that prayer and meditative life, and having the ability to surrender your will to a greater power and ask your higher power, what is it you want me to do today? What are we doing with this situation? How do you want me to respond? Okay, you want me to reestablish a relationship with someone that has been hating me forever and treating me horribly. Okay, I'm gonna need some help with that. And you're given the strength to make that a contact and say, I know that things have been kind of rough for us in the past, and I've been, distant, but I want to try to work on reestablishing our relationship. And come to find out they're caught up in the disease of addiction and they need you to point them in the direction of where to go to get treatment. And they've been dying in this disease of addiction, riddled with guilt from their past, knowing that they've harmed people, but they don't have the blessing of having had a 12-step program. They don't have the blessing of knowing how to make amends to people. They don't have that. They don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to get them to 8 and 9. They don't have that. They don't have a program. They had you, but they lost you because of the poor way that they treated you. I'm preaching to myself. I'm not just talking about, I'm giving you an example of why I treat a relative of mine as well as I do, even though they treat me like crap pretty much every day, right? Because I understand they're caught in the disease of addiction. They don't get a pass. They just get some love and understanding, right? And so when my God was like, I need for you to help be the bridge over troubled water between this person and their children, I was like, really? Right? And my God has given me the strength to do that. And I do it wonderfully. I do it wonderfully today. Right? As a result of the strength that God has given me to do it. So at the 12th step, you have the ability to carry the message. You have a message to even carry at this point. You have a message that is worth carrying to the still suffering addict. But not only that, you're practicing these principles in all your affairs, and you know and you understand. I can't say I'm in recovery and act like this. I can't say I'm recovery. I mean, people do it all the time, but hopefully your walk in recovery is not as simplistic as some people's that are just, as long as I don't use, I'm fine. Hopefully yours is going to a deeper level, and now, your higher power is putting you in positions to use you in the community because you have perfected or practiced applying spiritual principles in all your affairs. You know that you can't just go to the store and start cussing people out, right? You know that when you have the money for your bills, you need to pay them, right? You take care of that stuff first, right? Before you start having fun with your money. Getting your nails, your hair, toes, new clothes, new shoes, right? New furniture, new vehicle. You take care of the stuff that is going to sustain you on a day-to-day basis. Recently, recently I was gifted, right? A little bit of money more than what I bring in, right? I was gifted, and I knew that I had to take care of certain bills, because if I don't take care of certain bills first, it's going to be a problem with my conscience, not with anything else, because I can do what I want with my money, but I knew I needed to take care of certain things first. So I got everything caught up before I started blessing other people. And after I got everything caught up, it's like the crap hit the fan. There was such a blow, right, to my family, that I needed to be able to contribute something to the situation. I was a part of a larger picture. And that little extra amount of money, I was able to use it so that as our family gathered on a daily basis, trying to care for this one particular person that's dear to all of us, we were able to eat together. We were able to get to and from places that we need to go to take care of this person's needs. We were able to buy equipment so that this person could recover at home and not be stuck in a rehabilitation, physical rehab center. Right. And I felt like, wow. And I had certain people, they were like, we know that you struggle from day to day financially. Like, where did this come from? I was like, it's so cute that they're concerned about me being able to take care of my needs first. But I had it all covered because I did the right thing. And I was able to apply spiritual principles in all my affairs, like being responsible, right? But then I was able to go on and be a part of a larger picture and be helpful. That's just one example. None of the stuff that I'm sharing with you is really deep or heavy, but I'm just trying to make sure you understand that when we're going through steps 1 through 12 in our journey of the 12 steps, they can bring about a spiritual experience that is more profound and lasting. And you want to make sure that you benefit from that. And you understand that you are humbly just one person in the big scheme of life, but what you do is important. I want you to go out, I want you to go forth into your day with that in mind, right? That I'm a small part of a larger picture, but the part that I play is important. And I want you to bring your best self to that game. I want you to bring your best self to the flick. I want you to bring your best self to the day. And I want you to be conscientious of how you are treating people. Because the better you treat them in the moment, the better your life is when you're with no one else and you're at home by yourself thinking about your day. I want you to think seriously about getting this literature so that you can do your step work. And I'm available for you. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. You can always reach me there. I have several. I need to figure out how to share the other social media platforms that I'm on. I'll try to make a point to post them or add them somewhere in here. But I'm brought to you through Hope Through Navigation. This is H.O.O.D Recovery Services. H.O.O.D stands for Hope Offered on Demand. And so when you're ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When you're ready to do your work, I am ready to walk you through that in a way that fits for both of us to get together. I'm excited about your future. I'm excited about my Tuesday. I'm excited about getting these boys up in a few minutes to get them ready for their beautiful day. I'm excited about caring for my home. I'm excited about my personal life and how God is putting the pieces together And I'm excited about doing my homework so that it's turned in before class starts tomorrow, right? I have to be responsible. Even when I'm going through stuff, I have to remember you're just a small part of the big picture. So I want to thank you for being with me. And I hope that you'll continue to listen. I want you to listen, share, subscribe, make sure you like, and this will get out to more people if you do that for me. It helped me increase my small heartbeat in the algorithms. Algorithms. I can't even say the word, but I want you to help me increase my beat out there, my footprint out there. If it's benefiting you, help me help someone else. Okay. Thank you so much and take care. Talk to you tomorrow.